Hello, everyone. This is Jay Dobbins of the official Marvel DC Multiverse, and we are now at episode 498. And I'll be discussing one topic, which is my MCU wish list. So, I do have a wish list, pretty much. There's 14 things on my MCU wish list that I desire to happen. Well, that I would either want or desire to happen. So it's 14 things that I desire to have put in the MCU. So first, it's going to be Tom Holland's Spider-Man versus Tom Hardy's Venom. So, like I said, not Sony, but the fans definitely want that to happen. A Tom Holland and Tom Hardy, clash. A brawl, pretty much. We would like that. Just like in the comics, Spider-Man versus Venom. We would definitely like that for sure. Second, Tom Holland's Spider-Man and Tom Hardy's Venom versus Woody Harrelson's Carnage. And of course, Scream, the female symbiote, the yellow one. So, like for that one, they can do either, like I said, a lot of fans want that too. And I definitely desire that, because after all, I got 14 issues of all 14 issues of the Amazing Spider-Man Maximum Carnage set. And that's a 14 issue series. And I got the entire set. It was like $120. So hopefully Sony would pull their head out of their butts and make that happen. Otherwise, they're not gonna make money. But ignoring the fans is not something that these people want to do, pretty much. But what they can do in order for like this to work, like the two facing on, like Spider-Man, Venom facing off against Carnage and Scream, what they can do is use the Maximum Carnage storyline or the Separation Anxiety storyline. I probably would go with a Separation Anxiety storyline, since it's a continuation of the Maximum Carnage series. I think it was mainly a video game, but which was a sequel to the Maximum Carnage game. But like I said, they can make that work too. I think that the Separation Anxiety storyline was from the comics as well. I'm not really sure. I got to look into that more, but it was definitely a video game, which was a sequel to the Maximum Carnage game. So they can make that work. You can add Cloak and Dagger, and the ones from the cast members from the TV series Cloak and Dagger, so you can use them probably. I would say, either the Maximum Carnage storyline, which they could probably still use, or definitely the Separation Anxiety storyline. So that could probably work. All right, for them to make that happen, pretty much. And Tom Holland's Spider-Man and Tom Hardy's Venom versus Noel, played by Andy Serkis, of course. So we definitely will want that. That's like another moneymaker, Spider-Man versus Venom, Spider-Man and Venom versus Carnage and Scream, and then of course, Spider-Man and Venom versus Noel. But yeah, definitely, you could definitely have another team up between Spider-Man and Venom, so that could definitely work. So we talk about, so that's 3 movies right now that could be a huge moneymaker. We're talking probably $1 billion, at least 1.9, or $2 billion, or double that and make that, I would say, probably $3.8 billion. Maybe. if it has repeat value, of course, and if they actually do it. But yeah, I would say at least 1.9 or 2 billion or double. And I ain't talking about doubling the 2 billion, but we're talking about doubling the 1.9 billion or just $1 billion, at least. But yeah, you have $3 billion movies right there, with the Spider-Man versus Venom, played by Tom Holland and Tom Hardy. And of course, them reprising their roles to take on Woody Harrelson's Carnage and Scream, which could be played by any female actor that will qualify for that role or be a good fit for that role. And of course, Tom Holland and Tom Hardy versus Noel. So if Noel gets out of his prison, they gotta be prepared quickly. So yeah, they gotta stop him. I mean, I would say immediately though, but they gotta stop him or be prepared for when he does get out. Because right now, Tom Hardy's Venom knows about Noel, and he has to give that information to Spider-Man and let them know, hey, they gotta be ready for when Noel gets out, if he gets out. So, and then 4, Aunt May returning after Secret Wars. So Secret Wars is going to pretty much end the multiverse saga, pretty much. So it might be like a 2-part movie. That's what I've been hearing. That was a rumor that it might be a 2-part film instead of just 1 part. So, with Secret Wars, what it would do is, I think there's going to be, there's going to be an incursion involved to where you'll have Earth 616 combined with another universe where all the characters exist and create a new universe. So therefore, you're looking at a soft reboot. So anybody who has, who was dead, or anybody who had died in the previous MCU films, might come back, to life in a new universe. So bringing Aunt May back, from a different universe into a new universe, it's like pretty much the Infinite Crisis in the DC universe, pretty much. But that could definitely work. And then of course you can have a T'Challa variant in that new universe. So it's not going to be Earth 616 anymore. It's going to be a different universe. It's going to be Earth something. I don't know what the number is going to be, but pretty much you're going to have all the Marvel characters existing in one universe. So you might have another Kang. That's if Doctor Doom does not kill all the Kangs. You also going to have the Fantastic Four, the X-Men, the Avengers, all the Spider-Man characters, Blade, everybody, all the Marvel characters in one universe where they all exist. So no separate timelines, none of that. So the only characters I want to see come back are Aunt May and T'Challa. That's all I care about, Now Vision might come back, maybe. But I would definitely say Aunt May and T'Challa, pretty much. So, yeah, Aunt May, and I really would hope that if they decide to bring back the character, hopefully that character will be played by Marissa Tomei. She played a good Aunt May, so hopefully she will come back from a different universe after Secret Wars. So they can make it work. All right, so then number 5, Tom Holland Spider-Man versus Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin. Now that one is a must, right there. The fans, the Marvel fans, want that. But however, there's contract disputes, pretty much. Turns out the character's owned by Sony and Marvel Studios, because Kingpin was originally Spider-Man villain before he crossed over to Daredevil comics. So, however, right now they're using him for only Echo, Hawkeye, and the Daredevil shows. He's pretty much an on-screen character instead of a big screen character. But if Sony and Marvel Studios can reach an agreement, they might be able to do like a little brief clash between Spider-Man and Kingpin. So, and I think he's going to be turning 66 soon. So, like I said, as long as he's in shape, and healthy, he might be able to be Kingpin for a long time, or play Kingpin for a long time. So, but yeah, like I said, Sony or whoever's the president or CEO of Sony or Columbia Pictures, I strongly suggest that you give the fans what they want. The fans want to see Spider-Man, played by Tom Holland, take on Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin. We've been waiting for that for a long time. It's never happened. The only one that we've seen, like I said, it's only the only time you ever seen Kingpin on big screen was on Daredevil. Was Daredevil he was played by Michael Duncan Clark. We want to see a big screen. We want to see Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin take on Tom Holland's Spider-Man. So they can make it work, but they just gotta reach a deal. Share the character. I mean, because Sony's gonna get most of the profits anyway, and Marvel Studios is gonna get 25% of that. So just make it work. I mean, don't be stingy. Give the fans what they want. They want to see a Tom Holland Spider-Man go, fight Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin. They want that. As a matter of fact, I met Vincent D'Onofrio months ago back in March at Planet Comic-Con, and I told him, "Hey, I hope you take on Spider-Man." And he replied by saying, "I hope so," because he wants that. I want that. Everybody wants that. But the question is Sony going to give us that? We don't know. But if not, they might as well just give the Spider-Man rights to Marvel Studios if that's the case. But fingers crossed. We'll see what happens. 6. Okay. So right now, so far I've talked about Tom Holland. Yeah, Tom Holland Spider-Man versus that's the first one, of course. Yeah, that's right. Tom Holland Spider-Man versus Tom Hardy's Venom. That's in number 2, the second one, of course. Tom Holland Spider-Man versus Tom Hardy's Venom. Tom Holland Spider-Man. Number 2, Tom Holland Spider-Man and Tom Hardy's Venom versus Woody Harrelson's Carnage and Scream, which could be played by an actress who's fit for the role. Third, Tom Holland Spider-Man and versus not versus, but yeah, number 3, Tom Holland's Spider-Man and Tom Hardy's Venom versus Andy Serkis' Noel, of course. So, and of course, number 4, Aunt May returning after Secret Wars. Number 5, of course, which I just recently, which I just previously talked about, Tom Holland Spider-Man versus number 5, Tom Holland's Spider-Man versus Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin. So that way, so I had to repeat that so you guys can, I just want everything to make sense to you guys. That way, y'all not confused or anything like that. So, But now I'm on number 6, which is Spider-Man versus the Sinister Six. So I guess they were trying to do that. Sony was trying to do that, obviously. And I think that they need right now. You only had 2, which was Morbius and Vulture. But the question was who was going to be the other, the other 4. So because obviously Morbius was tied to the multiverse. And so far, because everybody was wondering why Vulture was in the Morbius movie, but we know why, because of the spell that Doctor Strange, did to make everyone forget Spider-Man. But how obviously there was a nasty side effect or side effects to where Vulture was transported from Earth 616 to the Sonyverse, pretty much, or Venomverse, or whatever you call it. So I think that would be cool. I could see it as far as like I think, well, if they put Shocker in there, and he could be one, played by Joaquin Wonbind, Bokeem Wonbind. Vulture, of course, Morbius, Scorpion, Craven. That should be, I think, yeah, that's right. Shocker. That's right. Shocker, Vulture, Morbius, Craven. So, yeah. And Rhino. Maybe. Don't really know. I mean, I guess that won't happen until after Secret Wars, I guess, when they create a new universe. That's the only way it's going to make sense to have Craven, Vulture, and of course, Morbius, Shocker, and of course, Vulture. So that's right now you're looking at, I think that's 5. And I get, wait a minute. The Chameleon, who was he was also in Craven, so yeah. So yeah, you're looking at yeah, that makes 6. So that could probably work. All right. So that's number 6. That's done. Number 7, Black Cat being cast. So Anna Taylor-Joy, I think, who played Magic in the New Mutants. I think I pronounced her name right, hopefully. Or Ann Taylor-Joy, or Anna Taylor-Joy, one of them. But yeah, I could see her as Black Cat. Or, Sydney Sweeney. I mean, that could work. Or just a new face. We'll see. But, yeah, I can see, I want her to be cast. So we don't know when that's going to happen. But she could team up with Tom Holland Spider-Man. So that could work. But those are the 2 actresses I think of that could be a good fit for that role. All right. So that's number 7. All right. So now number 8 is recasting T'Challa as a variant. And we're not talking about T'Challa Jr. We're talking about the son of King T'Chaka. That T'Challa. And right now, my top 2 right now are Damson Idris, and Aldous Hodge. Those are the 2. Those are my top 2. I mean, because I had first it was John David Washington, Trevante Rhodes, of course, Yolanda Noel. And then, of course, you have, Aldous Hodge, along with Damson Idris. But now my top 2 are Damson Idris and Aldous Hodge, pretty much. So those will be a perfect fit. I mean, they're both 6'1" anyway, so they'll be a perfect fit for a T'Challa variant from a different universe. So, which would definitely make sense, and it will not disrespect Chadwick Boseman's legacy at all. It will continue on. It will continue his legacy without replacing, So a T'Challa variant will differentiate from Earth 616 T'Challa. So they can make it work, and it will make more sense. And it's a win-win for all the Marvel fans, including the comic book fans as well. So the Marvel, yeah, it'll be a win-win for the Marvel movie fans, the black community, and the comic book fans. Comic book fans is a must. You definitely need them. Like I say, because it's going to take 100% of fans to make the third film $1 billion, because the sequel to Black Panther didn't even hit $1 billion, pretty much. So at all. It was like 891 million or 861 million, one of them, and that's not enough. But so I would say that, yeah, 60% of the fan base is not going to be enough for the film to hit $1 billion in the box office worldwide. You definitely need that 40%, and that 40% is the fan base. I mean, the comic book fan base. So they will definitely be happy. Now, if some of the black community aren't happy about it, then that's too bad, But as long as you have the Marvel movie fans and the comic book fans, that'll be cool. And hopefully that'll be enough to make $1 billion, for the film to hit at least $1 billion. Because not everybody in the black community is going to be on board for T'Challa recast, and we're talking about the son of King T'Chaka. So, they'd be like, "Oh, I'm okay with the T'Challa Jr." I'm like, "No, he didn't exist in no comic book, so that's not gonna fly." Especially unless Ryan Coogler's not trying to make $1 billion because of the next. If Black Panther 3 does not make $1 billion, they might fire his tail, So, but that's definitely desirable right there. But that's one of the most desired. That and Spider-Man taking on Kingpin. And fighting Tom Hardy, and then later on teaming up, and then taking on Carnage, and then both of them taking on Carnage, Null, and Scream. So yeah, those are the most desirable that I want to see happen, pretty much. And another one, so that's number 8. So recasting T'Challa as a variant. So that's number 8. Now number 9 is going to be a Blade movie starring Mahershala Ali. So Mahershala Ali has already made his debut in the Eternals. For those who didn't actually watch the movie, because obviously there's a little conflict, so there's several contradictions going on. You had Wesley Snipes. He reprised his role as Blade, and then he said, and I quote, in the Deadpool or Wolverine movie, that hey, there's only one Blade, and there's only going to be one Blade, as if he doesn't exist in the multiverse, which he pretty much does, because Mahershala Ali voiced the character in the Eternals. So that's pretty much going to contradict. A lot of people's like, oh, yeah, see, there hasn't been a Blade in the multiverse. I was like, no, there is. And for those who did not watch Eternals, I suggest you watch the post-credit scene. So, yeah, Blade's already in the MCU now. He already made his debut. So now all they need is a movie. And kicking Mahershala Ali out will not make any sense. As a matter of fact, you're going to piss off the fan base when you do that, if you do that. So, I think that, like I said, I hope that, the Blade movie does happen. And he quit delaying it. Because right now, Marvel Studios are looking like morons right now. They're the ones looking like fools by doing this. And luckily, Mahershala Ali is still on board. He's still, he's very patient, obviously. So he wants this. So just let him have it. Make it happen, Marvel Studios. So that's number 9. Number 10 is going to be a Punisher Suicide Run movie. Now that one, oh man, they can make a lot of bank off this one. for sure. With a Punisher Suicide Run, because you have with the Punisher Suicide Run, you're looking at characters like, not just the Punisher, but you have characters like Hitman. You have Hitman. You have which he's a cool Punisher. You have Lynn Michaels. You have Desmond Cline. Let's see what else you have. They call him the Fat Punisher pretty much, but Desmond Cline's one. Who else? I'm trying to remember the stuff by heart. But you have, I think his name is Rapid. Who else you got? Now Rapid, he's the one with the arm, the Gatling gun arm, which I really don't know how that works, but let's see. Trying to think. You have, that's right. You have Desmond Cline. You have Payback. You have Outlaw. You have the group called Vigil, which is an acronym. Let's see who else you got. Trying to think. Let's see. Okay, so that's right. Desmond Cline, Hitman, Punisher. You got, I think it's Rapido, who has the Gatling gun arm, the right arm, of course. That's right. Hitman, Desmond Cline, of course, Punisher, Rapido, Payback, Outlaw. You have Lynn Michaels. You have Punisher, and Vigil, the acronym. So they're. So you have I don't know what the acronym for Vigil stands for, but Lynn Michaels is like the only female Punisher. So, and then I guess Micros, is in charge of the weaponry. But if you have all these characters in one movie, oh man, that's a moneymaker, man. We talk about Carnage, Damage, Mayhem. You name it, and either. They could probably make the Suicide Run, this could be a trilogy. They can make this work, because I want to see Hitman in action, but So for those who don't know who these characters are, these are Punishers, pretty much. So Frank Castle's not the only Punisher, obviously. Right now, he's the Anti-Vigilante Task Force is not, they don't count. But you have, like I said, you have now not just like I said. Now remember these characters, okay? Of course you have the Punisher, but you have Hitman, Desmond Cline, Rapido, Payback, Outlaw. He's the Black Punisher, of course. Lynn Michaels, the female Punisher. The group Vigil, which is the acronym, which I don't know what it stands for yet, but then you have Punisher and Micro. So they can make this work for sure. That's a huge money maker, having all these Punishers. Whoo, man. Kingpin might be living in fear for the rest of his doggone life if they made that happen. So yeah, Punisher Suicide Run movie. Yeah, that's right, number 10. So yeah, I can definitely see that. As long, and I hope John Berthel stays on board for that. So, all right, so that's it for number 10. Number 11, a Fantastic Four and Black Panther team up. And I don't care if Damson Idris or Aldous Hodge plays, T'Challa, the son of King T'Chaka. Because you have to be more specific now when saying T'Challa, because everybody, anybody can think I'm talking about T'Challa Jr., which I'm not. But yeah, and the reason why I would like a Fantastic Four and Black Panther team up, because remember, the Black Panther made his debut in the Fantastic Four issue number 52 on July of 1966, I believe. But definitely, Black Panther, made his debut in Fantastic Four in 1966. So I think the issue was number 52 of the Fantastic Four. I can't remember. I know I have that issue, so for sure. And of course, I didn't know who the Black Panther was until I was like 11 years old, and I started collecting. Well, my dad bought me 2 comic books of the Fantastic Four in the Heroes Reborn universe timeline rather. And Black Panther did team up with the Fantastic Four against Doctor Doom and Super Skrull. So, let's see what else. Because Chadwick Boseman said he wanted to team up with the Fantastic Four when he was alive. He said if he wanted to do a team up, who would it be with? And he's saying Fantastic Four. So, I would love to see either Damson Idris or Aldous Hodge continue on with that. So, but yeah, that'll definitely make a lot of money for sure. Yeah, that's number 11, of course. That's right, number 11, the Fantastic Four and Black Panther T'Challa team up. So, or T'Challa Senior team up. So yeah, that's it for number 11. Number 12, Norrin Radd's Silver Surfer appearing in the MCU. That's going to have to happen, and I think the only way that's going to happen is if they do. I think that's going to happen after Secret Wars. That's the only way they can make that happen. Is after the events of Secret Wars. Because right now you have a female Silver Surfer, which I don't think that's going to be the main Silver Surfer of the MCU, but just for that universe, obviously. And the female Silver Surfer is Shauna Bell, the wife of Norrin Radd. So, yeah. In one universe, Shauna Bell is the Silver Surfer instead of Norrin Radd. So, yeah. Obviously, they wanted to do a little MCU thing for that. But hopefully, they'll do a male Silver Surfer for the new universe. So, question is, who is going to play him, though? So, yeah, that's it for number 12. Number 13 is Iron Fist versus Shang-Chi. Or Iron Fist appearing in the Shang-Chi sequel, either as a fight or a team up. And I really hope that Finn Jones reprises the role of Iron Fist for the sequel of Shang-Chi. So either a fight or a team up, I don't care. Or a fight, which could lead up to a team up later, which will be fine. So yeah, I really want Finn Jones to reprise, his role. I want him to continue on playing Iron Fist. So, but yeah, that's number 13, of course. That's right, number 13, Iron Fist. Appearing in the Shang-Chi sequel or versus Shang-Chi in the sequel, whatever. So that's it for that, for number 13. And then last but not least, number 14, which is the return of the rest of the Defenders characters. And we're talking about Iron Fist and Luke Cage. So It's already been confirmed that Jessica Jones will be reprising her roles. Sorry, it's been confirmed that Kristen Ritter will be reprising her role as Jessica Jones in the second season of Daredevil Born Again. And it's confirmed that Finn Jones and Mike Coulter have been spotted in New York. So hopefully they'll reprise their roles, as Luke Cage and Iron Fist in the second season of Daredevil Born Again. Because I don't think they should be recasting, and I don't think that a recast would be appreciated by the fans. You don't want to piss off that fan base, so get them back in there. But I would love to see the Defenders in the MCU, cleaning the streets, taking on the anti-vigilante task force. So that would be cool. So yeah, that's pretty much all 14 things that I desire in the MCU, my little MCU wish list. So that concludes this topic. Feel free to follow us on Instagram. We're available on iTunes, Amazon Music, Spotify, YouTube, and of course Twitch.